Hey HardForkers, welcome to the long form conversation with one of the projects that we're assessing in the 1BTC and 32 Ethereum show. If you haven't seen that show yet, there's a link below. Make sure you check it out. Effectively, it's a competition show amongst our team to see who can trade their way to that mark of 1BTC or 32 Ethereum. These projects have made a small donation to us. We then individually decide whether we hold that project, sell it, or invest more. So look, check out the main show and enjoy this long form interview with this project. Cheers.
No, I love Axie. I've been
Oh,
playing
whoa.
for so long.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Thanks, man. Dude, I appreciate that.
no, you're kidding. Thanks to you for building something like that. It's amazing. Especially the stories. We're gonna get into details, just a small intro on that. But especially the stories of all the Filipinos that are having that as a full-time job. My girlfriend, she's from the Philippines.
Oh, nice.
Um, we live in Singapore, obviously, but she comes from a pretty poor family as well. So I can rely on what it means for those people to have an option of playing full time. Uh, really, thank you, because from a community aspects, what you guys are doing is amazing. It's super incredible. Really, I'm such a big fan. So
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that means a lot to me. Yeah, I think, basically, yeah, I think the idea of what work is needs to change because we're living in a digital world.
yes.
And I think let's kind of change from a 9 to 5 grind to something that's more fun, right? And users of applications have always added value, created value, but they've historically seen none of that value. That's all gone to, investors, things like that. So
It's true. It's true. And I think that you guys have somehow got to that point where the community from the Discord server, all the NFTs and the paintings that are being created now, the digital copies that you find on the Sandbox, on the Voxel, on you also had a partnership, I think, during the launch in Decentraland, where you were giving away some Axies as well.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. A lot of people got their first Axies because I was like, yeah, if you own land in Decentraland, I'll give you some Axies.
Oh,
And,
what?
that was back when, Axies were, so cheap. It was like, so maybe, gas was low back then too. So it was like, sending maybe $5, worth of Axies to someone. And yeah, it's like, so yeah, I think, we just try and do our best to attract the right people and build a strong base. We've been building throughout the bear market, and so yeah, no, it's kind of like it seems like people are finally waking up and starting to see what's been happening in the NFT space and with Axie. So yeah, I just feel, yeah, I'm just so excited, and thanks for paying attention, thanks for playing.
no worries. So I'm gonna let Jordan runs kind of everything, but to give you an idea of what we're doing and why I wanted to actually invite you to this. So we've started a show a month ago at this point, where what we're doing is a little bit of a competition in the sense of this show between me, Jordan, and the owner actually of HardForking, which I think is still sleeping at this time.
Yeah, yeah, no, thanks
Um,
for waking up early, guys.
No worries.
no worries, no worries, totally fine. And basically, what we're trying to do is running our way through gaining either 1BTC or 32 ETH, obviously, for the staking and so on. But in order to make things very interesting, we're basically bringing projects on board on the show on a weekly basis that we think are actually nice. And obviously what we do is that we run this long interview with the founders, and then during the weekly show we have a little segment on that, or a 2-3 minutes clip where we take basically the most important part of the interview. We review ourselves the projects, we basically say what we think, and then on a weekly basis we kind of show if the project is having any new update, if we're buying more of the specific token that is relating to the token, If we, for whatever reason we decide to like jump off, why we're jumping off, like if a project is like collapsing down for bad reason, for example, we're trying to be like as honest and transparent as possible. And so obviously when the owner asked me like, do you have any projects that you would like to bring on, I've been saying to all the people that I know, play Axie. You don't have a bag, you don't have the funds to buy like some ETH and enter in like the space and so on. Just play. That's the easiest way to.
I think that's, it's like you know, DeFi is kind of, you know, I love DeFi. Like I've done pretty well too in DeFi. But you know, if you're just, you know, trying to get started and not risk too much and I think like the most important thing is to like start a network too. And like the Axie community, like, you know, they've been around, they know about dApps. So yeah.
And that's kind of the thing of also like what I texted you like at the beginning. So we basically have like these projects that are like putting this this donation type of thing, and with you, and especially like with the community that multiple times has says like, guys, forget small love potions because those are just like for breeding, and you know, like it stopped there. We're gonna have like we're gonna also talk like during the interviews about like your governance tokens and kind of like
nice.
evolution and so on.
We're getting ready for the launch of the governance token. Obviously, a lot of amazing experiments have been, you know, going on recently. Like, yeah, I don't know what you saw, but like, you know, because our game is the only game where every single player was using Uniswap like on a daily basis, almost, right? Yes. So
everybody's happy
everyone
today.
Everyone in our community just got that drop, and like they think that some of them, they think that we made Uniswap. They think that like we're giving them the money, you know, because like they don't know, like a lot of them, it's like, you know, we're getting to that point where it's like, you know, they don't even understand or need to understand or know what the infrastructure that they're interacting with is, right? It's just like, yeah, they see in this guide, like, okay, you earn this potion, like go to this thing and click some buttons and then you get money, right? So they thought, some of them, they thought that we are the owners of Uniswap and that we were giving them like thousands of dollars, right? Nice. So anyways, like, yeah, that was like a crazy development recently.
Yeah, it's true. That's when
mass adoption comes, right? Is when people don't realize what's happening under the hood. They don't need.
Yeah, I think that's the most interesting thing, right? Because like everyone always talks about, yeah, like, you know, it's gonna happen when people don't even know what they're interacting with. Yeah. This is like the first time that I actually, you know, kind of saw that in play. So.
Nice. Get your phone, mash some buttons, watch the numbers go up.
Yeah.
Jordan, what do you want to do? You want to be the host? I don't think that Sean at this point is going to show up. I think he's enjoying his sleep. So, well, I will leave you taking on, basically. So,
I mean, what we try to do is, I don't know, I've been recording since we started pretty much, I think. So we'll just do an edit. Let's just start with the basics, you know, like just the foundation of the token. Well, I mean, see, Stefano's converted me. I've done a little bit of research. I tried to start playing, you know. I wanted to get some Axies, and he's giving me some tips on which ones to buy, which have the best, the best attributes and stuff. Get a tank, get a bird, kind of stuff, right?
Stefano must be, he's a G, man. He knows what's up.
I think that your tips on which Axie to buy are probably a little bit better than mine.
So, I mean, you know, normally you get a project, the first thing you do is you go buy the tokens, right? And I didn't even actually know that the SLP was the token, the secret love potion.
Yeah.
Stefano was just showing me, he's like, look at this huge red dildo. I'm like, what's going on? And it was just a bug on Blockfolio. So, and then I checked Uniswap. I'm like, oh, it's not dumping. What's going on? So normally we would start with just the tokenomics, right? Like how the token works. But it seems like with Axie, it's not quite as relevant. You know, the first thing you do is you just load the game up and you start buying some characters. So
so maybe I can, you know, talk a little bit about my background and Axie and what we're trying to achieve.
Where you guys came, why you started and all that kind of stuff, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'm Jeff. I'm a co-founder of Axie Infinity. I actually started out as a community member. So I studied like military and economic history in college. And yeah, I was working in the conventional startup space. I was working as a recruiter, trying to convince people to like make like decisions based on for their future based on money, right? And I got kind of really fed up with that. I got bored with that and started looking to Ethereum. Some of my friends who were really smart, were like, Ethereum smart contracts are the future. So, I've been a lifelong gamer. And so it wasn't, so I was like taking a look at Ethereum, but it wasn't until I learned about non-fungible tokens through CryptoKitties that I was like, this is what I want to, dedicate my time towards. So I became an early CryptoKitty community member, met a lot of really amazing people, but we wanted more, right? It was like CryptoKitty is very basic. It was like a proof of concept, but we thought this idea of, actually owning your digital assets, being able to sell them to anyone, anywhere in the world, basically having true digital property rights for your game assets. We thought that was revolutionary and would fit really well with an actual game. So yeah, I actually found the Axie Infinity community, or project, quite early, and just started out as a community member and began contributing, yeah, things kind of really kind of snowballed from there.
What's your role now then? Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm the growth lead. So I do community related things, biz dev, kind of making partnerships,
interviews,
communication. Yeah, like appearing on podcasts, things like that.
Yeah, cool, nice. Well, that's cool to see you start from the bottom and get all the way up there.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
How did you come across because Axie is one of the few games that I've seen like in the space that have like a lot of different aspects. Like you have the PvE, the PvP. Now you guys obviously are planning on like developing a third part of the game on the land and all of those, which is something pretty unique compared to like any other game in the space. I'm thinking about like Splinterland, where you get like only the cards, and like every game target only one thing. Well, you guys, it seems to like Axie becomes like the fuel to enter like the entire world basically, and you can do like so many different things. How that came across? Because to me, that is the genius of the game basically. Yeah. Why did that happen? How?
So I think it's because we really wanted to start with a strong base, right? Like we wanted these characters that you really connected with, that you thought were beautiful, that you kind of saw as your own pets. And so rather than just limiting ourselves to like one game mode, I think one of the beauties of Axie is that there's a constantly ever expanding list of games and experiences that you can kind of enter into, right? So we have a battle game, which is kind of like similar to our card system. We also you can breed your Axies. We have a land game coming. So I think we're constantly looking to. We don't want to limit the IP, right? Like I think the strongest thing that we have going for us is the IP and the community. So Axies are beautiful. People want to do more and more with their Axies over time, and yeah, I think that's at the heart of the project. So
build the world, right? And let the people play.
Yeah. So yes, I mean, I think the thing is, Axie has been built alongside with the community. So like at the beginning, you couldn't do anything with your Axies, and it was just people like they owned Axies. They're talking about it in Discord for hours and hours, right? So I think there's always this, it's called Axie Infinity, right? Because I think that that gets to the idea that, the possibilities are infinite, right? There's always, more and more things that more and more fun and utility that we can bake into these tokens.
This is crazy, man. 39,000.
Yeah, so yeah, there have been Axies that sold. Wow. The highest Axie sold for 110 Ether. So we've attracted a really amazing community of collectors, right? They see these Axies as real pets, real art too. So I think like the thing is, it's like we're not just a gaming project. We're also, in my opinion, art project. Our artists know, I think like very little about blockchain, right? They're just the best artists in Vietnam, basically, which is where most of our team is from. And I think that's important. So, yeah, I think I think like basically, yeah, the huge collectors market is really a testament to like how amazing the art is.
On the six parts, because like so for people that obviously like are not familiar, I think that like in terms of like the type of Axie that you can get like when you're breeding them is very similar to CryptoKitties, where you got like your base part and then you get like all the different parts that are like changing based on like how you're breeding. Obviously there are also like the skills involved, but just like talking about like the aspects on that. So every Axie has 6 different parts. Of each individual part, how many variables there are over there? Or in an easier way, how many different Axie can we basically have in total? Or is completely infinitive?
So it's very high. Like, so someone would have to do the math, but basically the idea is that each Axie has 6 parts. Those parts affect their physical appearance and also their capabilities in battle. For each part, there are different genes. So there's 3 genes. There's the dominant, which is the one that's shown, the R2, and then there's also recessive genes.
That's these parts here, these 6 things here, Mavis, Nemo, feasting.
Yeah. So basically, Mavis that basically corresponds to the eyes. Feasting mosquito, that's a mystic part, which is basically a special part with a special skin. They're capped in supply. They're very rare. So I think there's less than 30 or so feasting mosquitoes out there. So that's one of the reasons that it's so expensive. So yeah, there are some very collectible Axies out there.
Ooh, nice. I love it.
So
I haven't got into it yet, but I'm in.
Bye, Jordan.
I'm in.
By a mistake.
I'm gonna sell a bit of my uni drop.
Yeah.
I'm by Axie.
Wow, cool, man. I like it.
So also, you guys have like recently changed the rules on how many small love potion you can get like on a daily base on the PvE. So before it was like unlimited, now it's capped to 100. Obviously that's done to like kind of like block inflation a little bit, I would say. One, it's a 2-part question. That one, were things going like out of control with like players like farming like thousands and thousands of SLPs every day, or it's more like done for preventing a possible situation in the future? And 2, is there like a plan to bring that also like to PvP, or you're not allowed to share anything about that?
Yeah, definitely. So let me basically walk you through how we're thinking about this.
Sure.
So, the basically small love potions are a ERC20 token that we've introduced. And basically they are to make sure that when you need small love potions to breed Axies. So this ensures that in order to actually create a new Axie, you can't just do it at will, right? You have to actually, someone has to have put some time and effort into actually playing the game to create a new Axie, right? We came from the CryptoKitties community where, inflation was like really high, and basically, that was kind of like an unhealthy, basically like, let's say a monetary policy for the cats, right? And so we want to make sure that the Axie population, grows at a kind of healthy rate. So yeah, we introduced these small love potions into the game. You can earn them by playing. And so one of the things is that, gas recently has gotten really high, but I think it's with like the whole DeFi boom, basically, people saw SLP as like I guess like a reasonably interesting token, started buying it, providing a lot of liquidity. So people started farming a lot of SLP. However, gas fees are so high that very few people were actually breeding the Axies. So, basically the SLP supply has been, going up quite a lot as more and more people play and earn these tokens.
Okay. I was going to ask you about the supply here.
Yeah, so basically, the supply has been increasing pretty quickly because the price has been high because of a lot of liquidity. you know, a lot of liquidity, people trading, people speculating on it. But yeah,
there a
so
max
you know,
supply?
so basically what we want to do is make sure that, you know, so the limit for the PVE rewards was to make sure that you know, we don't basically, you know, end up with huge amounts of SLP, which once gas drops, or when we have our Ethereum gas drops, or when we release our sidechain Ronin, we don't have like so much SLP out there that it just like leads to a huge inflation rate of Axies.
So is there a cap on the supply, like a max supply?
Yeah, so basically, SLP or small love potions, they're not our native governance token. They're not the token that we're looking to basically accrue value to in the universe. So this, you know, so these, while, you know, we look at the supply and we look at the emission rate, there's no max supply for this. We will have a governance token that's coming out, and that will have a max supply.
Nice. And what's that going to be called?
Yeah, so the name we haven't, so right now it's called Luna, but we're actually changing the name and we haven't released that yet.
Right.
We haven't leaked the name.
There's a couple Luna
Okay,
tokens already,
that's
right? So that's probably good.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there was already a Luna. So yeah, we're changing the name. And yeah, that's something to keep an eye out. So yeah, I think, you know, it's going to be you know, kind of familiar to people who have been, you know, keeping an eye on different, you know, DeFi governance tokens, right? So there'll be staking, fee sharing, governance, all baked into the token.
That's gonna be super cool.
Well, this is.
I agree on the SLP situation, because I remember like that people stopped doing that because of the gas. Because like I remember that to breed one, I pay like 1,100 SLP, I think, and then like on gas price alone, I had to like put down like a $50 type of thing.
Yeah, it's like the gas fees have been really high. So
yeah.
And the thing is with SLP prices, like there's a lot of liquidity. I think there's like, you know, 36 ETH or something in the liquidity pool for SLP. So, you know, a lot of people rather than just a lot of people rather than, you know, breeding Axies are just selling into the pool now.
That's fair enough.
It's like, yeah, the liquidity providers are kind of like subsidizing like play to earn within the game, and who knows, yeah.
So you guys are obviously like developing the side chain. Couple of things on that. Obviously, the first one would be like, is that a completely side chain? Is that based on like on existing layer 2s? Because we have reviewed a couple of layer 2s in the show before. And the second, which obviously like is also for personal interest, and I know that everybody's asking you daily on Discord this question: when? We need side chain.
Yeah. So definitely, you know, we're definitely pushing on Ronin, which is the name of our sidechain solution. It's really awesome to see that people really want it.
We do.
So
we're
excited. We're excited about that. We're excited about the fact that people want it, and I would say, you know, I have a 70% confidence interval that, you know, we'll see it by, you know, the end of the year or early 2021. Yeah.
And like, are you building that internally, like from scratch? Are you using like a Matic base, near base? Like, how is like the technical part of that, or at least like the general understanding of that?
Yeah, definitely. So there's definitely, you know, there are there's a lot of good projects to kind of like be inspired from, and so. But yeah, I think, you know, to be honest, I think it's not building a layer 2 or building an Ethereum sidechain is not as difficult as building a product and building a community. So I think the problem with a lot of the sidechains and layer 2 so far is that they are just infrastructure people who then have to basically convince product people and community people to use their product. Whereas I think our strength is that we are infrastructure people, we are product people, and we are community people. I think we have all the pieces. We have a working product, you know, we have engineers who are superstars and that are amazing at blockchain development. So I think, like, you know, our strength is that we're kind of able to put that all together. And we don't have to go out there and say like, hey, like, to ask other NFT projects to try and use our platform. We're building it for ourselves first, right? I think that's the idea of Ronin, right? Like Ronin was a samurai in ancient Japan, feudal Japan, without a master, right? And we don't like the idea of having to be kind of subject to the whims and the development cycles of other people. So yeah, I think that's what Ronin is about, and I think we have a chance to be the kind of the Ethereum sidechain or the Ethereum layer 2 for NFTs. But our first goal is to build it for ourselves and to basically take the take the strain off of our community. Our community is paying around $15,000, $15,000 to $20,000 in gas fees per month. So it's a little bit of excessive, right? So thankfully, right, like with Axie, there's actually a play to earn, right? It's like there's actual liquidity in that SLP pool, for example. So the gas fees are just the cost of doing business. So it's actually like during the time of high gas is actually when Axie has experienced its highest growth. So I think it's coincided with this, with the resurgence of the bull market on Ethereum, DeFi coins, more liquidity on Uniswap. But I also think that there are a lot of people, refugees from other games, that are getting choked out. Like these other games, like they haven't set up good economies. They're not fun. There's no real sustainable play to earn. So they're coming to Axie because despite the high gas, the gas is just the cost of doing business.
That's true. That's
so
true.
yeah, so it hasn't been all bad, but yeah, we love Ethereum. We're excited to basically kind of contribute to the mind share and basically to kind of figure out like what does NFT, what does non-fungible token, what does blockchain game scalability look like without like basically building an entirely new like layer 1, which some teams are trying to do.
Once you migrate on Ronin, now the land is obviously going to be there directly. All the items for the land and the entire architecture is going to be there. I assume that the government token is going to be there as well. Are you guys going to migrate also Small Love Potion, or Small Love Potion is going to remain like the ERC20 on the Ethereum part? How is it going to work on that part?
Yeah. So that's a good question. So basically, I mean, ERC20s will, ERC20s, ERC721 will be compatible with Ronin, right? So it's like you can deposit your SLP and put it on Ronin, or and we'll probably just give you your SLP on Ronin straight away, right? So you don't have to like pay the Ethereum gas fee to sync it. So what does that mean? Right now, like our community members are using Uniswap on Ethereum, right? So, with the current status quo, that would mean that, they would have to send it back to transfer it, right? It's like, it's costing extra transactions and things like that. So one thing that I've been thinking about is, maybe we need our own, basically, just put up on Ronin, which should be relatively simple because, Uniswap code is open source, Ronin is EVM compatible. So then it's like if we have our own, AMM, our own Uniswap on Ronin, most of the liquidity or all the liquidity is coming from within our community anyway, right? So then it's like, you then have like the ability to just, sync your SLP onto Ronin, sell your SLP on Ronin for you.
If you're planning on like creating like that ecosystem, does that mean that like the Ronin is going to be like solely for the Axie community, or is there like a sort of like idea of maybe like giving a little bit of help to like new blockchain games that are like just getting started now? They might not have like the same community and resources, and just like come and build on Ronin at that point.
Yeah,
is that possibly an option?
It's a possibility. I have seen so many projects say that we want to build this thing and have other people build on top of it, right? We kind of are like, we don't believe in that so much. Like we believe in like walking the walk before we kind of talk the talk, right? So we want to, we believe in Axie. We think it's big enough, and the idea is big enough, right? To carry us to where we want to be. And, you know, if other people want to kind of, you know, build on top of Ronin 2 after they see the success of Axie using that infrastructure, you know, that's probably something that, you know, would be great long term to kind of, you know, get more people building on top of Ronin. But yeah, it's a possibility. But like what I want to stress is that, you know, the amazing thing about Axie is that, you know, we have our own community, we have our own product that people love already. So we just want to focus on scaling that first.
I have a question.
Fair enough. A step at a time.
So, I mean, looking at the website and all the stuff that you've got built and all the world that's been built in the community, how many people, like how long did that take and how many people are actually working on the Axie team from art
definitely
to like technical marketing?
So we're actually currently we have around 25 people on the team. So let's say maybe 12 on the engineering team, 10 on the art team, a couple of biz dev, couple of people on the biz dev / marketing teams. So yeah, we're in Vietnam, right? So I think like one of the ideas about blockchain and Ethereum is this idea of geo arbitrage, where anyone, anywhere in the world, right, can build. And I think our team is really a testament to that. So yeah, we've been building since 2018. And I think the basically the ability to cut costs and be very conservative during the bear market was really crucial to us. We've seen a lot of teams like fail and like close up shop just because like their burn rates were crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think like we are so ready. I think one of the awesome things is like we were born in the bear market, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the environment that we were shaped by. So like this whole, we're not used to this time of like rising crypto, attention and like, easier funding routes, right? So we don't take that for granted. And obviously, that makes it easier for us and, allows us to grow faster, which I think, we've been seeing. But we were shaped by fire, and I think that's part of our DNA. And no matter what happens with the market, that will always be kind of part of our company's culture.
For sure, those bear market scars, man, it's like a badge of honor. It's a very common theme in the projects that we've been reviewing. They're either fresh startups, and it's like, oh yeah, we're this and that and this and that, or you've got like people that have been around and fought through that.
I mean, I think you've seen that, projects like Aave and Synthetics, right? Like they were building all throughout the bear market, and those are the ones that have like, and even Uniswap, right? Like Uniswap, I think, things and Kyber, right? Like all these projects that have delivered the most so far, I think have, been building for a while. A lot of people are quick to like try and jump into projects that have just launched. I think Wi-Fi is the only one I think that is just like, just come out recently and is like awesome, and actually has a good community and is delivering. That's just like Andre is a superhuman. Otherwise, it takes time.
For sure,
especially the scale of what you're doing here, like building the world and the community and like all the details about every character. And I mean, even from an art standpoint, like my background is animation and design. So, I can see how much work it is here just to design all the characters and the props and all the the city tiles and all that stuff. It's crazy amount of development that's gone in already. Ready to push the button and get her fired up. It looks like you guys are growing well. It's nice.
Yeah, thanks, man. I think
what's coming up?
What's been awesome, and
what are the big things coming up for you guys?
Yeah, definitely. So we're super excited about a couple of things right now. So we have our land system is getting ready to basically we're getting ready to kind of show off our first kind of alpha or beta to the community.
Do you have any idea of the time for that?
Yeah, so that should be this fall with a reasonable level of confidence.
How's that going to work?
So
you buy the land and you build it out, customize it, similar to Decentraland?
Yeah, so the thing with Decentraland is like it's kind of you have to like build out like a lot of the art and stuff like that. So basically, the idea with Axie is like we want to provide a lot of like the building blocks for our players like straight from the start. So yeah, you can have a land plot, put your Axies on it, put some items on it, start to harvest resources. I think like a lot of people are like really interested in this idea of Farmville or Animal Crossing meets DeFi, right? Where it's like you wake up in the morning and you do your chores, you harvest your resources, but those resources are actually like a governance token or a resource that's actually tokenized and has a liquid market, right? So yeah, I think a lot of people are excited about that and have been asking for that recently. And, we've actually been building that for the last year and a half. So very excited to unveil that to the entire community. Yeah, we also have a revamped kind of like battle system that's coming out also this fall. Yeah, we're very excited about that. So basically making the battle system a little bit more faster, a little bit more intuitive, a little bit more skill-based. We like our battle system right now, but, we believe in constant iterative development. And and I think like the thing that a lot of people who are outside of the community who are watching Axie that they're excited about is the upcoming governance token. So yeah, as I think I've talked about it a little bit. So basically, we'll be releasing a native governance token. That token will have some of the functionalities that we've started to see kind of gain traction in the DeFi world. So kind of fee sharing, staking,
community
payment,
decisions.
Yeah, and governance. So we're really excited about that. And we've actually been working on that for almost 2 years now. So, a lot of people during the bear market were really bearish on like tokens and things like token design, token economics. But we were very interested because like it's a kind of an interesting story. So when we released the game, a lot of people come into our Discord saying like, how can we earn Axie tokens by playing the game? How can we earn how can we earn tokens by playing the game? And for some, we thought that was kind of strange. Like, why does every single person assume that you can earn a token by playing the game? And yeah, we started to look at it, and we found this idea of being able to incentivize usage of your application with a native token that actually represents true stake within your ecosystem. We found that to be a very compelling idea. So I was an early member of the synthetics community because I was looking at what are the innovative things going on. So yeah, I think people will see a lot of really kind of familiar takes on token design, but also with some of our own kind of characteristic flair baked in.
Nice.
So, sorry, I have like tons of follow-up questions and everything that just got like put there. First one, a comment on like the revamp battle system. Those criticals are super annoying. Just want to point that out. But so one thing on that, because like you didn't mention that, and I know that a lot of people are not talking about that too much, but there is that session on the website that is like the labs. And I think if I understood correctly, that the labs is kind of like allowing people to rent an Axie to like start maybe playing without having to purchase them initially. So like kind of reducing that barrier of kind of like the initial investments to start playing. But one, I might be completely wrong on that, and two, if you can like talk a little bit of like what's the lab, how it's going to work, and those type of things.
Yeah, so we have definitely been at the forefront. Our community has been at the forefront of this idea of like renting Axies. So there's one guy who's now rented out, I believe, like almost 300 Axies to people, and is just taking like 20% of their SLP earnings. So yeah, I think that's really interesting. I have my own like CDP, kind of like CDP system. where I'm accepting mystic Axies, which are like some of the most rare and special collector's Axies, as collateral. And yeah, so I think like that is a very big piece of the puzzle moving forward, and we you know, I think our community's done the most experimentation around it. And so yeah,
So
I think mhm.
something like that is basically going to allow people that have like a collection to lend them out to basically like allow the users to just like come rent them on, I assume maybe like a daily base or something like that, and then being paid for that. Is that correct? Is pretty much like that what is going to happen?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting idea, and I know that internally we just spoke about like, you know, how can we like push this up on the roadmap? How can we push up like lending, axes and things like land on the roadmap? I think it's an important piece of adoption, and you know, people being able to kind of, you know, truly own. Right, so people, not everyone wants to have to sell their asset, right, to like realize a gain or generate some income. So, so I think like long term, like yeah, being able to rent stuff out is really important. So yeah, I would say that I expect Axie to be at the forefront of, you know, that kind of thinking in the NFT space.
That's super cool, because like
And yeah. Right now, like we do have basically a kind of stealth way of doing that, because you know you can send people accounts,
okay.
but so they can log into the application and play it, but they can't actually send, you know, the blockchain assets from those accounts, right? They require the private key, right? So we have a player who's running a scholarship program where, you know, he has like, you know, hundreds of people, you know, playing, or renting Axies from him. And yeah, it's been a really interesting experience, and it's gotten a lot of people who, yeah, you know, might not have the capital to kind of start immediately, but are willing to work hard. So
that Medium article of the scholarship as an idea, I thought is absolutely genius, both from like the owner obviously of the collection, as well as like the new users, because like right now, especially like with the gas and everything, you're probably looking at like $150-$200 to get like the set and so on, while in that option you're really like going down to zero as a startup capital, and just like go straight ahead in the game. Like it's genius as a strategy. Like I love that. I thought it was like absolutely brilliant.
thanks, man.
Yeah, no worries.
So yeah, so you know, it's that wasn't even. I actually I thought about this. Like I was playing Animal Crossing, right? It's like Tom Nook is this super capitalist animal that's like, yeah, like basically getting you to pay off your mortgage and things like that. I was like, oh, like actually someone could do this in the Axie universe. And yeah, one of our players, AK, is, you know, pretty good thinker, and, you know, kind of familiar with, yeah, like some of these kind of like incentive mechanisms. He was able to roll this out, and I think it's been doing really well so far. So yeah, I think like the Axie community, like one of our defining characteristics is our kind of like ability or a willingness to experiment and try new things. So I mean, it's like
that's very true.
Most people don't think that, you know, just playing a game with these cute looking pets, right, could kind of like change the world or change the future of gaming. But you know, the people that we attract to our community, that they tend to be able to kind of see through that lens.
Oh, it's super true. I mean, like between the tournaments, the sharding of the Axie, the putting that as like collateral for a loan, the NFTs on both virtual and physical, like that the community is really going like absolutely crazy on creativity and new things to do. So I still have like two questions. The first one is still a technical one, and it's a personal opinion. It's a very quick one. And then like I would like to kind of like go more into the community aspects. But for the land part, obviously, which is like where a lot of people in the space are putting an eye, seeing like what happened in Decentraland, Crypto Voxels, Sandbox, and so on. would you say, in your personal opinion, would it be better to have a lot of land where you do nothing on that, or having one land where you populate that with a tons of items on? I don't know even if you can share the answer.
I think the
to
best
this.
is having a lot of land that you use a lot. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. So I think I think we are looking to basically cater to a variety of different audiences with our land system, and the ability to rent it out. I think theoretically in the future would also help, and we want land to be very social as well. So.
That's cool.
Is there a
That's
map
cool.
for the land?
Yes.
Or is it only in the game?
There's a map.
Is it accessible on the site?
It is. I
Yeah.
think
So
is...
basically, if you
Info?
Yeah, so if you go, if you go to the land market,
Oh, there it is.
There's map view. It's like an icon of a map, I guess, which is
right.
Maybe not as intuitive.
Found it.
You can also get it, I think, from because I did that in the past because I wanted that information because I bought like a bundle of land,
Nice.
and I didn't know where I bought that.
Yeah.
So I was like, it would be nice.
We've been trying to trying to make it a little bit more simple to kind of see where your land is.
World Explorer.
Yeah.
Cool.
There is a part like on the marketplace that you can a little bit like see a little bit of a corner, and then there is a URL that got shared in the community on Discord, but I don't remember the URL specifically, that shows you like an extended part of the map, and then you can see like all different auctions if there is like the land on sales or and not. But if you play a little bit around with that, you're probably gonna get there, Jordan, or I can help you like later on and figure that out, because I know that like I had the same exact issue on that.
Yeah. There's actually one that there's like this Freak has like a really good tool for that. I can put it in the chat.
Like me personally,
So that's another thing about Axie that I want to highlight is how amazing our community is, and like we also have developers who are building like tools, right? So if they're like, oh, like this thing like could be improved, like they don't just complain and like give us feedback about it, although they do a lot of that, but they also will build it themselves in a lot of cases. So for example, awesome. A lot of people are like, oh, like what are the good Axies to buy? Like I used to have to try and explain the principles, but now I can just send them the leaderboard and like you can check out like what
it's true.
What types of Axies people are using at the top of the leaderboard.
That's very true. So moving like on the final part, I guess, like of my question. So we were talking about the community, all the things that people are doing, and obviously there was like that tweet of the Filipino guy with the motorbike and with all like the stickers of Axie and so on. I read the article that you guys have published about the Polish guy, one of the players that is doing that as a full-time job. And then obviously like all the other articles about the Filipino communities and kind of like all of this like solution of the play to earn model. One obviously is awesome. Anybody that have a meh bot to say, I'm sorry, but it's absolutely incredible. Like this thing is like absolutely blowing my mind on that. I would like to ask you like one, because you guys are majority based in Vietnam, like how come that the Philippines is actually the place that where this is like exploding like this? And the second thing would be like where do you see this? Because obviously like you want to bring that like globally to a point, and obviously you're adding like the governance, the land, like all of these like multiple systems. Is the idea to give like people the option of having like that universal basic income, or is maybe like the option of like also creating something where you can even be like a professional esports player and make like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in revenue by playing and doing that full time? Like the show is all yours on this. Like it's really like that part where I would love people to understand how incredible what you guys are doing and how many people are really eating daily thanks to what you're doing. So really, feel free to say whatever you want in that.
Yeah, definitely. So the way that I see it is that Axie aspires to be and has shown a promise of becoming an entire digital economy. So we do have our players from the Philippines, yes, also Vietnam, Venezuela, Indonesia, places with low average incomes. We have people grinding for maybe $3 to $6 an hour, but we also have competitive PvP players who are earning much more than that. Competing in tournaments, winning prizes. MakerDAO, Kyber, Digix are contributing as sponsors to the leaderboard prizes. We also have collectors who will, build up massive collections of Axies and list them for higher prices. And, over the last couple of years, have been able to make very high returns, selling hundreds of ETH worth of Axies. So, I think we actually think very carefully about the different basically citizen archetypes within our ecosystem and how to create economic opportunities for each one of them. So while the recent press and attention has been around these Filipinos, grinding and being able to play, to being able to kind of feed themselves during the pandemic, feed their families, we have a bunch of other profiles of ways that people can earn in our economy. So there's a lot of what I would recommend is just for people watching, people who are interested, to come check out our Discord, meet our amazing community, and they'd be so happy to meet you.
That's so true. Like the community at Axie is fantastic. Like you guys have done like a job that is incredible. You enter like with noob questions and things that like nothing about, even questions that are literally being asked hundreds of times and they're all the same. There is nobody that says like, oh, just read above, we already answered that. No, every single question is being answered. That's incredible. Like as a community is absolutely fantastic on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I think for some reason, the Axies, they're so cute and like lovable that I think they attract like the right type of people. So I think it's really important in the crypto space, right, where there's so much greed and things like that. Like, while we're very while we do care about the economic opportunities created by our game, I think the fact that there's so much more than that is really also like what's creating the opportunities and the culture, right? Is like the fun, the beautiful art, just socializing, networking, meeting new people. I think there's a lot of value in that as well.
So obviously, I have to ask this. Between all the things that you can do on Axie, what is your favorite thing to do? Like, which one is the one that you spend most time on?
I am a collector, so I really like building up my collection of Mystic Axies. I have one of the better collections.
Ooh.
I would have, yes. I'm a collector. I also like to battle. I do some of the balancing and stuff like that in the meta. So like sometimes after we make a bunch of big changes, I'll play like quite a bit to get a handle, to see what changes are working out, what changes aren't working out, and just to be more in tune with the player base. But yeah, I also get like really competitive and like I hate losing. When it comes to when it comes to the Axie battle. So like I would say that I'm a battler and I'm a collector of like some of the rare Axies. I'm really excited for land too. I also like, I see myself as a liquidity provider within the land market too. So whenever I see something interesting, I might come in.
That's cool. That's awesome. Jordan, any other question from your side?
Wow. No, I mean, I want to get in and start playing. It's like fun.
You should. You
No,
really
I mean,
should.
personally, like, I'm not much of a gamer. I played, I had the PlayStation and the Genesis, like I'm old. And then, once it started working full time, I kind of let it go. And then I got a kid now, so I don't really do much gaming, but the only thing that I actually play is like SimCity, and I used to love Age of Empires and all that kind of world building stuff.
Oh,
I'm like,
nice.
man, why is there no crypto version of this stuff? Like, you build your city up, you have an economy going. It's like, there's got to be a crypto solution for this, like, the same kind of thing. And this is exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So it's
It,
so I
it
can like
takes time,
spend my
man. It
time
takes
just
time.
trying to relax and actually build up a bit of an economic benefit to it too at the same time. See you later, SimCity.
Yeah, man. We're trying. So
Super cool.
yeah, definitely just come hang out in the community. You said that you're an animator too. Like we have
Yep.
amazing like artists and animators within the Axie community.
Nice. No, that's great, man.
So I think I think you'd fit right in.
Even old school, man, I learned to draw, 2D paper, and then just before like all the digital came around with Flash, like Flash cartoons and stuff. Now everything's gone 3D and everything's going VR now. Is there any plans to incorporate VR at all?
I think VR would be interesting potentially. We've seen people. We actually had people like build like small little VR apps too, where you can see your Axies floating around and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's definitely a potential direction in the future.
There is that the tweet that I saw of like the decentraland land that has like all the different Axia that follows you. Like you have like this tsunami of Axia that are like following your character, and that's amazing. It was super funny to see.
Oh, is that happening? Yeah.
You
Yeah,
bring
that's
your
the crazy
Axies?
thing is like there's always like our community, like people will put Axies in places that we never even imagined them. So it's up. A lot of it is up to the community.
So is that like the actual NFT from Axia can be ported into Decentraland?
In the specific case, I'm not sure because I didn't see like the technicality. But I saw that like there is basically like this land where you get like both CryptoKitties and Axia. Your character is there, and basically like the Axia is like in 3D, while the CryptoKitty is in 2D, and they're all following you. So I don't know if the creator of that land brought like its own NFTs into the land and then basically like replicating them, or if actually like you render every single one manually.
Custom built.
So no idea.
It's pretty neat. Crazy.
Jeff, is there anything that you would like to say that we didn't ask you?
Yeah, I would say that one thing that I want people to understand is that gamers across the world, they really lack property rights, and I think what this non-fungible token movement, what this blockchain gaming movement really is about freedom. It's about freedom of your digital property, game assets, your game items, what you own in these virtual worlds. People need to start seeing them as property, and I think that's part of what we stand for. And if we see this as not just about playing a game, it's really about a fight for digital property rights, and I think it's very important. And what we're trying to do is to kind of introduce people to these kind of radical ideas, introduce them to this revolution through something that's cute and fun. So yeah, if you want to learn more about that revolution, come learn more about Axie Infinity.
Cool.
So we're obviously going to put down the links to, Twitter, obviously, Discord, 100%.
Yeah, Twitter and Discord, I would say those are the most important things.
Okay, perfect.
You guys aren't on Telegram?
We have a Telegram too.
Okay.
Huh. I'm not part of the Telegram.
Yeah, we don't link to it. The main point for the Telegram is so that someone doesn't make a Telegram and try to scam people.
That's fair. That makes sense.
We do have a Telegram mod, so if people answer questions there, we'll answer them and then tell them to come to Discord.
Awesome. Well, I have no further questions. I'm done with that. Jordan, any last thoughts, question, thing?
One tiny little one was talking about Twitter and Telegram and Discord. Do you guys have a tip bot set up in the Discord where you can like send assets via Discord?
Yeah, so actually that's one thing that we've been that we want to do. We don't have it now yet, and people have been like begging for it. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting to add in.
Yeah, like I mean, in Telegram, the tip bots and like being able to send assets and tokens just was. I found it like really helpful for spreading adoption. You know, you can get people into it that don't even use blockchain, and they're on Telegram or Discord, and you're like, hey, check this out.
Yeah,
Ding,
definitely.
I just sent you a bunch of stuff. They're like, what? And then it takes them to the next step, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's something that I need to escalate within our
especially with
Discord moderation.
Yeah, especially Discord being such a game-heavy platform, right? You'll be able to bring in a lot of people from outside of the Axie blockchain community and like get into more of the actual gaming communities, right? It's weird how Discord took over for crypto, right?
Yeah. I was on the front lines of that. I use Telegram a lot for biz dev, and like meeting people from other projects and things like that. Yeah. When it comes to like community building and cross community pollination, I'm almost like always solely in Discord.
Nice.
I think NFTs are actually our NFTs' major contribution so far to crypto has been the adoption of Discord, and then other people kind of saw like its usefulness.
Right. No doubt.
Other projects, I guess.
Cool, man. Well, it seems like a good spot to finish up here. So we will be in the next week's episode here, which comes out on Wednesday. Everybody, if you want to subscribe, like, share, that's cool. We're going to post the long form that we've just done here, and then we're going to do a small version, a 2-minute, 3-minute version that will be in the episode. So we'll be able to check it out and get more information about Axie. So cool, man. Let's we'll call it a day.
Awesome.
Good to meet you, Jeff.
Have you guys ever seen this?
Nice.
This is
no, but if you want to send it to me, I would love to.
Yeah. No, I'll bring some next time I come to Singapore. I've been to Singapore a couple of times. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's super cool.
We're in Bangkok too, so if you ever come.
Oh, nice. Bangkok? Whoa. Yeah, I really want to come.
Yeah. We're supposed to get a typhoon here. How about you guys? You guys hear about that?
Good luck.
No, here it's super sunny and like it's super sunny today.
Yeah.
So
typhoon on the way, my first one. Yay.
Whoa. Did you just move there? Or?
No, I've been here for 7 years.
Oh, whoa.
The first typhoon.
Yeah, I haven't been to Thailand since I was there in like 2014.
Oh, nice. Cool. We got to come back, man.
I funny story. So I bought Tesla at $20, and then I sold it at $80 and then went to Thailand. So.
Nice. You could have went around the world if you would have held, right?
It's I replaced it with some options, but yeah, it's not as
nice.
You never cry on a profit
exactly.
trade. It's always a positive.
My mom was like, yeah, you 3x, you gotta sell.
Like, Mom, I'm from crypto. 3x is shit.
Yeah.
It's like the famous tweet of the guy about like BTC at like 8 cents. I sold it at $1, whatever, and now it's at 8. I'm feeling terrible.
It's the people who make the most are the ones who lose, like forget that they even own anything, right, and then come back.
Me.
So, I told people to do. I told some people to try that with some of their Uniswap drop. I think, so who knows what's gonna happen, but I
agree. We actually
it'll be interesting to see. Like I think this could be like $100 billion protocol.
So. Oh, easy. Gonna restart alt season. You can already see it happening. People are like, whoa, I got all these profits. Now what am I gonna do? And the smart guys are like, I'm holding.
It makes sense, like it's the biggest basically the biggest decentralized exchange in the space, and soon he is on track to become the biggest blockchain exchange in the world. So,
Yeah, it could be big. You know, it's already doing like more volume than Coinbase on certain days, right?
Yeah.
So,
mhm.
You know, like imagine
It's
BNB did an airdrop of their tokens like a year and a half after they actually opened the exchange.
that's right.
People would
That's
be
right.
crazy. I mean, people are going crazy for Uniswap. So, and I just like how it was a bit of like a fu to the CD5 bullshit going on. You know, the forking and all that stuff. So, go Uniswap.
I think that they play that in a full decentralized and truly blockchain way of like, not saying that to anybody, letting everybody going in form on whatever they wanted, and then just like, there it is, we're keep developing our project, we need to add this piece now, there it is, do whatever you want with that, guys. It's super cool, super fascinating.
yeah, people are really excited about it in the Axie community, at least. So, yeah, we'll see. It's still early.
You know how many
Yeah,
Axies I can buy with this?
yeah, the people have been buying land, buying Axies, and yeah, so it's always, I always feel like I probably feel most proud when it's like, we introduce our community to like new ideas, new technology, new products, and then so the fact that they were able to be like kind of introduced to something like Uniswap, and then to in many cases get like relatively significant amounts of income or reward for doing that.
Yeah.
And it was all because of the fact that they're playing Axie, like that felt kind of special to me.
Actually, just a quick one that it just came to my mind. When you play the PvP and you win, do you always receive smaller potion, or is possible that you get also zero? Because I want to know if it's a bug or not.
Sometimes you get zero. So
Okay.
no. So basically, we have a system where basically if the match is not long enough, then there's a chance that you can get zero. Yeah.
What do you mean? If I'm super good, I get nothing? No, I'm joking.
You gotta
I'm
toy with
joking,
them, man. You
obviously.
gotta toy with them.
It's not perfect. It's not a perfect system. It's not a perfect system, but if you find that to be happening a little bit too much, try waiting. It's not about like how long how long the match is in terms of rounds. Is actually like a countdown to a timer. So that means you could just like wait a little bit longer before playing your cards.
Fair enough. Got it. Understood. Because sometimes
It's not
like,
perfect. It's not perfect. But we gotta do what we gotta do to move fast.
no, of course. It's just like I remember that like on the PVE, when you're not receiving that, that's obviously like and you're playing the first time.
Yeah.
That's
PVE,
obviously
PVE, the rewards are pretty random, whereas PvP, like it's more formulaic. If you get zero, it's because like it's a anti-botting measure, and one of them is like basically discouraging people from like just doing like really quick matches against each other. So
I'm just being called a bot by the co-founder of Axie. Oh my god.
yeah.
Maybe Stefano, you're playing
Yeah,
too much.
I'm not saying you're a bot. I'm just saying
It's too fast.
No, it happens sometimes that I get like on that set of cards.
The fact that you know that means that you're a true player. So
no, of course. Are you kidding? I love the game.
but there are people who complain about that. So it's real. It's definitely a user concern. So it's noted. It's noted.
That's cool. And last one, because I think the answer is 8, but just want to double check on that. The maximum amount of small load potion that you can get in a match on PvP?
Yeah, so it can go higher. It can go higher than 8.
Okay.
So basically, I believe that so it starts at 1200, it's 7, right? And then every 200, your elo, your rating increases, you get 1 more. So if it's 14, then you get 8. If it's 1400, you get 8. If it's 1600, you get 9. If it's 1800, you get 10. If it's 2000, you can get 11. Yeah.
So basically, it's 11 because I think that like the max is around that. Like the people.
Yeah,
that
11
are like,
or 12. Like no, I don't think anyone's ever hit 2200. So.
Got it.
11, I think 11 per match, but that's kind of like raking it in. That's like 33. What? Yeah, 33 cents a match, and you can win like, decent number of those per hour.
For sure. I'm basically sharing with you my elo by asking you the question. I think that the max is 8.
Hey, not bad, not bad. The arena has been getting so competitive recently.
It's crazy.
Like, I used to be able to go in and like, do pretty well, but these young kids, man, coming up in the game. Plus I think like Axie Zone is like leaking alpha, man. Because like now everyone knows what teams are good, what's good in the meta, right? So it's like it's like, it happens in Clash Royale and things like that too, where people figure out what's good, and then it's just like people playing good decks against good decks, right? So.
It's true. It's insane. Like now that obviously like the season is over, like, and we're waiting for the new one. Now it's fun because like it's very random. But like once the season starts, the last 2 days of the season, those are impossible. It seems like everybody goes like on next league directly on toughness. It's insane. It's true. It became like very, very competitive and very challenging now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think there are things that we can do to kind of make it more. Obviously, like the biggest thing is just to scale the player base, right? It's like. The more players there are, the more chance that you're playing someone who's at, your elo plus your skill level. And it's gotten better. It's gotten better over time too.
Plus, I think that you guys are doing very good that every season you tweak some of the cards a little bit, making them better.
We're trying to do some balancing, and we're doing a major overhaul of the balance of the battle system, like based on all the feedback and all the issues that we've run into. So we're working on that for the fall. So that plus the land plus Rodin, like those are the the big upgrades to the fun that we're bringing in, and then in terms of like the earning, we got the native governance token coming out. So this is gonna be a really big fall, like next couple of months in winter for us. In terms of like releases and basically capitalizing on our I think we're in a good position in the space, but to be honest, like I'm a very competitive person. I'm like a gamer, right? So I want to dominate. Like the fact that there are other blockchain games like are still out there, like, and aren't just like building games on top of Axie, like that annoys me. So
that's fair. That makes total sense. I completely understand.
One last question there. About, you mentioned Roland a couple of times. I didn't see anything about that on the website. Is there somewhere where we can find out more? Is there a white paper or is
the Discord?
In the Discord
about
Ronan?
About which one?
Ronan? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Discord.
And on Medium, you have shared a lot of.
There's just a Medium article about it right now, but I'll put that in here.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, we can put that in the show description.
Cool. I'll put it in actually in our group chat, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Take it easy, Jeff. Have a good one.
Awesome. Yeah. Really nice to meet you guys. And
likewise. Thank you so much. And keep it up on the awesome job.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. It's super. Yeah, it's always really fun to actually like it's really awesome to kind of meet players that are also doing things like podcasts and stuff like that. So yeah, man.
I'll try and get you back maybe in a month or so. Get some more updates.
Yeah, would love to hop on whenever you guys want to have me.
Yeah. So like what the theme is that we'll discuss it as a group and we'll talk about what's happening. We're like, oh, I'm gonna play, I'm gonna buy, whatever else, and then every week we'll see what the developments are and any big events that are happening and stuff. So we can get you back. So maybe some new stuff.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it sounds like a plan.
Sounds good. All right, man.
Amazing.
All right,
catch you guys later. Guys.
Take it easy, guys. See you later.
Thank you. Have fun.
Bye.
Later.